In at Craig Tut, so let's go and have a look. Well, some dickhead left a full bottle of water in the tent, that's me, and now the whole tent's soaked inside, so we're just trying to dry it out. Shouldn't be the end of the world. What a fantastic day's driving though, that was awesome. Really, really enjoyed that. Big day, but fantastic driving. Well, I've got to say, all the places we've been around Australia, it's still nothing like waking up in the Victorian high country.
The camping here along the King River is some of the best you'll find anywhere in Australia. If you're coming out this way, my advice is avoid the large public campground up at Pineapple Flat and get yourself one of these secluded little stunners alongside the river.
So back on the road, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Today's plan is to cross up onto the Cobbler plateau and then head across to Abbeyard, and then we'll take the road into Myrtleford behind Mount Buffalo and then on to Beechworth. A bit worried at the moment, the car's developed a very loud squeak from one of the pulleys on the engine. I'm quite worried about it. It's been a very, very slight whistle for about a month now, but yesterday it got really loud. It's most audible between about 1000 and 2000 RPM. So there's not much I can do about it out here. I can't really tell which pulley it is without pulling all the belts and the fan off and everything, which is quite a big job. So I'm hoping that we can just get through today, and when we're back in civilization I can strip down the front of the engine and try and work out which pulley it is and if I can just replace a bearing or not.
King Basin Road is a beautiful drive. The track snakes its way along the floor of the valley, crisscrossing the King River about half a dozen times. The crossings are all quite shallow, but some are a little bit rocky in places. About 10 kilometres on, we turn northward on a speculation track, which is effectively the Lake Cobbler Abbeyard track, which will take us up over the Cobbler plateau and all the way through to Abbeyard. This final leg of the expedition is the most challenging section of the trip. Apart from its extremely steep hill climbs and descents, the Abbeyard Lake Cobbler track is very remote and not frequently used. Fallen trees and rocks falling into the middle of the road are a big concern.
As you can see, the Lake Cobbler track is pretty rough and rocky in a few places. Well, for most of it really. There used to be a little place up here called the Staircase, I think it was called. The last time I was out here, which is probably about 5 or 6 years ago, they'd put the bulldozer through it. But it was certainly a good challenge. Be interesting to see what it's like when we get up there. Here we are at the Staircase. It's come back a bit over the last few years. It's certainly not what it used to be, but it looks interesting.
Once onto the plateau, the going gets a lot easier, and it's not long before we arrive in at Lake Cobbler. Lake Cobbler is a great place to spend a few days camping. There is 2 or 3 beaut camp spots dotted around the edge of the lake. But for us, this time around, we've got to keep moving.
He wants to check out the Jeep. guys, I've got to say, that is the scariest part of this trip. Coming up this very, very steep, rocky, rutted section with the drop off into nowhere on the right hand side. At both lockers in, skidding. Oh, that gets the heart racing, I'll tell you. Look at the view though. These tracks are bum clinchers at the best of times, but towing a trailer just puts that edge on it, I tell you. The problem with a trailer, of course, is that you've got no option to go backwards if you can't get up the hill, if your tyres are spinning. Now, on 2 occasions, I've had to put front and rear lockers on and I've been spinning like mad, so they are extremely steep. I don't know how they're coming out on the video. Gets the wind up you a little bit when your tyres are spinning like that and you're not going forward. Well guys, that's it from us. We're just going to air up and head into Myrtleford. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We've had an awesome time. Victoria High Country is one of the best places in Australia, without doubt. We'll see you next time on the Unlimited Expedition.